What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today I have another interesting post. This is actually not not the part two of the post about shifting to the desired reality, but it is another post by Smoked Lay, which he also wrote a day ago. So I figured this was a great post to kind of go along with the previous post that we covered. This one is actually in the Get Disciplined subreddit, not Neville Goddard or Law of Attraction or any of those other ones. Funny enough, we were talking about the other post and he mentioned Carl Jung. And so I looked up where he was posting. He also posted the same post on the Carl Jung subreddit. So we can see that, this idea of shifting to your dream reality, it applies. He also posted on the Enlightenment subreddit, the manifestation maybe too. But it applies to all these different things. It's like, that's why I always talk about like studying these ideas in this kind of vacuum of Neville Goddard isn't really it's not the smart, it's not the Neville Goddard's not the end all be all. There's a lot of other people that have talked about this stuff, and I do like referring to his subreddit because you get a lot of cool success stories and interesting stories because he happens to be the most popular person, it seems to be nowadays. But even Neville Goddard himself mentions the idea of disciplining the mind, disciplining your awareness. So funny that a lot of people in this world of manifestation are all like, oh, it's not about discipline, it's about just thinking from the wish fulfilled. But the thing is, it's about both. And so what we'll see here in Smoked Lay's post, the master key to discipline, how I developed an iron will. This obviously pertains to how he also shifted to his dream reality, which he posted about, like I said, in the previous one. And here we go. So the method. I always struggled with discipline and procrastination and overall just bad habits. I always tried random shit to fix my life, but nothing really worked. I knew I needed to figure out the truth and figure out the mechanics of where discipline arises from. I was told I had ADHD and I fully believed it, but once I figured out the mechanics of discipline, my ADHD was gone. 1. Self-observation. The key is to change awareness. I started observing my thoughts, emotions, and behavior without judgment. This helped me identify patterns I never noticed before. 2. Conscious labor. I realized that willpower isn't about forcing yourself to do things, it's about making conscious efforts even when they're uncomfortable. I started small, like making my bed every morning, and gradually increased the challenge. 3. Divided attention. I worked on maintaining awareness of both my internal state and my surroundings simultaneously. This improved my focus dramatically. This is the technique that is spoken about in Tufti the Priestess, in which, in that book, it's part of the process is to maintain your attention on the inner and the outer screen at the same time. To hold your awareness in between, they say, but that is what is being communicated here as well. 4. Struggle against habits. I deliberately went against my ingrained patterns. If I always took the elevator, I'd take the stairs. If I always slept in, I'd wake up early. This constant friction built my willpower. 5. Intentional discomfort. I voluntarily put myself in uncomfortable situations for the sake of growth. Cold showers, or even just sitting still for extended periods, all of these built my ability to endure discomfort. Now, another huge aspect for me was being mindful of any resistance and actually transmuting it into an opportunity to strengthen the will. Those 5 points might sound confusing or overwhelming, but trust me, it's worth it and it gets way easier. The secret is that it's not even about hard physical action. It's not about breaking deeply ingrained patterns. The point of the post isn't about what to do to build the will, because anything can. It's more about the subtle patterns and small things you can do in the moment you are in. Example, I realized I always reached for my phone when I was feeling slightly uncomfortable or bored. This awareness alone helped me catch myself and choose a different action. Exactly. It's just about creating your own ways to create suffering to build the will, no matter how small it is. Once I realized how many bad habits I was unconsciously perpetuating because I was unaware, they started to disappear. The key is to stop living life unconsciously and start incorporating practices to break free from an unconscious life, because nothing can be a greater trait than an iron will. This can get way deeper because this is taught in many spiritual systems attained at reaching higher states of consciousness, thus leading to more spiritual powers and being able to manifest easier. But I hope this helped for now. Right. So people are asking some questions here, but again, as he mentioned before, this can go much deeper than this. And the act of being able to discipline your focus, it does take, it's not only mentioned in Vadim Zeland's teachings in Tufti, but I've also heard in Gurdjieff, he was another spiritual teacher, practitioner of what he called the fourth way, I believe it was called. But he also makes note of this, and that it actually takes more energy. It takes more energy and attention and awareness to be focused on the outer and the inner at the same time. It's a practice that, is really like a lifelong type of practice. And he describes in his teachings as well that by being able to do this, you are activating more of these powers. You are able to influence reality more. You are able to gain in that power that they're talking about here. So if you guys have questions about that, let me know. I can also there's a video that I had before which kind of articulates this, called Activating the Plate, which is a technique inside of Vadim Zeland's Tufti the Priestess. There's also a parallel with this and the teachings of Carlos Castaneda, who talks about the assemblage point. But essentially, it is an area that you can focus behind the body, focusing on the energy behind you and around you, which allows you to kind of be in this state of keen awareness where you were able. And I've had times like this in my life where it's like I'm able to perceive energy around me much more. I'm able to perceive myself and reality at the same time, and the interplay of those things. I've had experiences like this on psychedelics, but I've also had experiences on this while not on psychedelics. And it's like you can really, really begin to perceive the energy. Like you can see energy coming off of people, like their intentions and things like this. The more that you begin to practice this, the more in tune that you will be. And yeah, it's a very fascinating and very worthwhile practice to get into. But yeah, guys, much love as always. Drop this with a like. Hit me with a comment down below to let me know your thoughts. Hit me with a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.